This is a video to help you replace the screen on this Acer Aspire model 5740. First thing we're going to do is flip over the computer. After making sure it's turned off, take out the battery. Pop the battery off. I'm going to open it back up. First step is to remove the 4 screws that hold the screen in. They're here, here, and here behind the rubber stoppers. There are 2 rubber stoppers in the middle here. They do not have to come out. They're not holding in the screen. So it's just these 4 ones around the edges. So you can pop off the rubber grommet, rubber stopper on them, and there's a little Phillips screw. So we'll remove all 4 of those. So after you take the 4 screws out, next step is to remove the bezel around the screen, the edge of the screen. It's arguably probably going to be maybe the toughest part of the job. I did it mostly just with my fingernails. I started it right at the corner and just kind of pry it open. It was tough to get at first, but as soon as you get one of the little clips undone, you'll hear it pop. Then it's much easier after that. I worked my way around. It's the first one that's really sticky. If you use maybe a small tool here, a wooden tool I used that has a sharper edge on it, maybe that helps get in, but I did most of it just with my fingernails, and it's probably not a good idea to use very many tools. So as soon as you get it popping, you'll hear it go, and then it's much easier after the first one. Carefully work my way around all the edges, all the way down. Make sure you get the very bottom as well, clips on the very bottom, and there's actually even clips on the bottom that as soon as you can get this at the top and the edges, you can try to fold it forward and use your fingers to pop out the bottom like such. Right at the very top up here, 1, there's a hole here, 2, 3, 4. There are slightly smaller screws, or even smaller than the previous ones you took out, so I had to get a smaller screwdriver because one of them was too big. Make sure you have something to keep them in because they're all quite tiny. Here, which is what holds the screen itself into the frame. Once those 4 screws are out, you can try to remove the old screen by pulling it forward. It'll be in the back here, the webcam wiring. So just work your way down. It's pretty sticky, so just work your way down and unstick that, which will allow you to pull the screen right down, and now you can see that webcam. You can see the webcam cable here and the tape that's on it. There's some more tape that has to come off, so you remove that. On this side is the wiring, the cable connector, the pin connector that is the cable, but the connector from the wiring into the screen itself. There's also some tape holding it on. Remove that tape and remove the stickiness, which should allow you to gently, carefully pull that connector out. Comes out very easy once you get the tape out. Just pull it straight out, straight back towards the screen. You can fold that up, and that's your old screen right there. Put that down. Grab your new screen. A protector on the front. I will leave it on here. I'll leave the plastic on. You can also leave. I'll leave this extra plastic on my keyboard. You can use a tea towel or something soft as well to protect it. Make sure you have something protecting your screen. Don't lay it right onto your keyboard without some kind of protectant. Lay it down flat, just like the other one was. Line it up, and then go and put the connector back on. Once it lines up, it goes on pretty easy. You can hear it snap in just a little bit. Looks like it's good now. I'll put that tape down that was already there to help keep it down. Keep the connector in place. Fold the tape back down to the screen. sticking to my under plastic here. Let's move that out of the way. Now it'll allow me to fold that tape down, trying to get it just nice and flat and flush. Make sure the wires that were underneath, little black wire here, keep it underneath. To fold it up a little bit to stick the rest of it. Can't really stick the webcam on until you fold it up a little bit. The frame into the picture is my protective covering come off, so be careful with that. Okay. The wiring doesn't look like it moved at all. It's flush there, looks pretty good. So I've put those 3 screws back in, side here, here, and here. The top ones aren't pretty easy. What you can do is fold out or pull out the metal frame a little bit, just so your screwdriver can fit in easier because it's kind of tight. Just a couple millimeters to get those 2 in. The bottom one was a little bit tougher. I've turned the computer on just to test here as well, so it looks like the new screen is working good. I also noticed that the protective sheet here that came with the screen, the tape that was on it, actually folded in and around the screen. So before you screw your screen in, what you should do is keep it on. I recommend keeping it on while you're plugging your the wiring into the screen. But then before you flip the screen up, or before you put it up all the way into place, take the protective film off so the tape comes off easy, and then you can push it right back into the frame, and then you don't have to worry about the tape that might be hard to get off on the edges. Once it's up there, be extra careful with your screwdrivers, because it will obviously scratch very easily. And then you can put your 4 screws in, or 3 in my case. So I've done the 3 screws. I have flipped the computer over carefully, because I don't have all the screws in, so it's a little bit wobbly now. I put the battery in just to test it before I put everything back together again. Screen looks great. Seems to be working fine, so I will power it down, and the next step will be to okay, so I've just laid the bezel back on. Make sure the screen is fully open. Gently lay the bezel in, the clips down first, the hinges first. Everything seems to line up quite good. Start applying a little bit of pressure. See if those clips are lined up where they're supposed to be. You can hear them clicking in. Put the 4 screws back in to hold the bezel in. After those other little screws, these ones seem much bigger. So just take your time. Nothing was particularly hard. Be gentle with it. These rubber pads just stick on, they're sticky. Make sure they're on good. And there you go, back in business. Good luck.